good evening, and welcome to Leicester Football TV. And this is the preview show for the Premier League. Um, finally, finally, we back. The Premier League is back. Um, League action is back. You know, club football is back, guys, and there's a lot to go through. This is, of course, the first preview show for the season. And yeah, man, guys, welcome to the show. If you're late, if you just came back from work, you know how it is, man. We're always grinding and we always, you know what I'm saying? There's no sleep. But obviously, man, this is the preview show for the Premier League, and yeah, we're gonna be looking at a couple of key fixtures and one that people will be looking forward to. You know, so guys, grab a snack, whatever, just chill and relax. And yeah, it is what it is, man. I know there's huge excitement, and the wait is over. The wait is finally over, gents. So yeah, I mean, the first game is taking place today, right? In fact, tonight, at 9 o'clock, and it's the Arsenal versus Crystal Palace game. That should be a cracker. That should be a cracker, and I'm actually gonna watch that. We're opening up a season in grand fashion. Crystal Palace being a team that is well organized, well drilled, plays good counter-attacking football. They're also good on the ball as well. So, and you've got your Arsenal team, whom people, have been very impressed with during preseason, and they've performed considerably well. They've added a couple of players too. I mean, your Gabriel, Jesus, you know what I'm saying? There's so many players that they've added, and their transfer window is apparently not closed. So I feel like it's too early to make predictions with the season right now and how the season's gonna go. But a lot can still happen. People forget that the transfer window is only closing at the end of this month, so teams can still get their business done before this month ends. So I mean, a lot can happen between now and this month. I could see teams starting off slowly, and then people writing them off already, and then they get their business done. If those players bed in well, all of a sudden, these teams that were doing badly right now in the start of the season, all of a sudden look good going further into the season. So there's gonna be a lot of bumps and rides into the Premier League season. I mean, personally, the Arsenal game for me, it's gonna be a cracker, like I said. I'm looking forward to the style of football that Arsenal are playing. Gabriel Jesus is an upgrade on any striker Arsenal could have gotten. He's a very good player. I wouldn't have my Man United, by the way. I'd never understood why we never went for him, but now we were a striker short. But Arsenal looking good. I mean, I see them getting 3 points. Arteta in, Arteta in. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it is what it is, guys. I mean, Arsenal. That's a 3-pointer. I mean, I can't see past it. Crystal Palace, it's a first game at home, and they'll probably have the home crowd behind them. It's gonna be an intense and a very wild atmospheric game. I could imagine the crowd screaming so loud. I can imagine my team my TV screen being on fire, while watching this game. So it's gonna be a cracking fixture. I can't wait for it. Like I said, there's no better way to start the Premier League season. So yeah, man. I mean, personally, if you had to ask me which team's gonna win between these two, I still say Arsenal. Arsenal will edge this. They're going into the season with huge momentum, huge expectations. Arteta needs to get the top four, which I think he will. I mean, towards the end of last season, they had this momentum. And then it kind of filtered out towards the end. They just came up short. So I feel like this is the season where they might actually, go over that line. They get over that line just by a nickel. So yeah, I mean, yeah, check out the game, guys. It's at Selhurst Park. 9 o'clock on SuperSport. If you're in South Africa and if you're in the English in England, you can check it in on BBC. So yeah, I mean, obviously tomorrow there's also a bunch of whole games. Saturdays is always a very busy, traditionally a very busy day in the Premier League. So I mean, Saturday, you've got your Liverpool. Liverpool are playing Fulham. I still think this should be a 3-pointer, an easy 3-pointer for Liverpool. Coming off winning the Charity Shield, beating City, and people, they look very good. Liverpool don't look like they're gonna slow down anytime soon. I thought this Darwin Núñez was gonna slow them down a little bit in terms of the tactics. But it looks like even with Darwin Núñez, they still look almost a similar team, even when they had Sadio Mane. And I feel like that's props to Klopp. Klopp just has a very efficient system, and it's working very well for Liverpool. Doesn't matter who they add. I feel like if you just have a system, it doesn't matter what kind of player you, as long as you know that player fits the kind of system and ethos that you have running. I think you can pretty much sign anyone you want. But props to Jurgen Klopp. He's done an amazing job. I mean, with Liverpool, and Liverpool look like they if I think they might win the league this season. I mean, it's bold to say that, but I feel like they really, really might win the league. City might be weaker. Let's not forget that they lost. They just lost Raheem Sterling. As much as people may have reserved comments towards Raheem Sterling, but Sterling has been very important to us in these past few years in sustaining the success of Man City. He's been very crucial for Man City. So, I mean, these sort of things always weaken teams. I mean, but yeah, man. Liverpool, I think they'll beat Fulham. Fulham, yeah, new season. I mean, they brought in a couple of players too, but I feel like they'll be fighting for relegation this season. So, it's another year of battling relegation. I don't think there'll be a team that will be anywhere near the top half, personally. So, I mean, they brought in a couple of players, but the competition is very tough this season. So I do feel they'll still finish in those lower positions at the bottom half. But yeah, win for Liverpool personally. And yeah, I want to talk about Leeds versus Wolves, but I'm kind of leaning towards the Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest. Newcastle, new team, new owners, new manager right from the start of the season. I think this is gonna be very special. This is gonna be very special. And Newcastle have signed obviously a couple of players as well. They've got pretty much the richest owners in world football, by the way. So in Salim bin from Saudi Arabia. So Newcastle, with their continued investment, and the club also backing the manager as well, I think they're just gonna be on the way up. These are the teams you look out for. Newcastle, in a couple of years, they were a top 4 mainstay team. It's at the end of the day, it's the world, guys. As much as how we look at it, even in football, money rules. Know how to use that money. You become unstoppable. So I mean, I could see them being high up the table. I could see them obviously finishing the top half. Which position specifically? Because I don't want to make predictions just yet. I'll probably start making predictions towards, if not after the transfer window is closed this month. So yeah, I mean, yeah, as things stand, I'd say they're gonna finish seventh. Seventh or eighth. People say it's a stretch, but I feel like they will be knocking towards the door of the Conference League. So I mean, yeah, man. I mean, I'm kind of jealous of Newcastle's trajectory. To be honest, they're only going up every year. They're only gonna get better and better and better. Even if they don't get better this season, they will essentially get better over the coming season. You from a mile away with the huge outlay that's been given to the club. Them having the richest owner around as well. It's gonna work for them. So I see Newcastle finishing 8th or 7th. Like I said, um, you can't go wrong with that kind of investment and structure. It's not about investment. There's also structure in the club, and the owner is a football fan, which also helps. But yeah, man. I mean, the second game on Saturday, and it's all these games on Saturday usually, it's obviously going to open up with Liverpool. It's the first game of the season. I mean, the first game of Saturday. It's going to be at around half past 1. Kickoff probably at 2. And the rest of these fixtures are all at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. Your Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. You've got Wolves versus Leeds United. You've got Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest. By the way, Nottingham Forest, once again, congratulations to them. It's been a while since I last saw them. If you've been watching football for a very long time, they've been out of the Premier League for the longest time, and yeah, it's good to see them back. As a person watching the Premier League in the 90s, it's good to see them back. They got they obviously they got a couple of signings in. I don't know if their business is done or not. I'm not sure about that yet. But they just got Henderson from it. Very good goalkeeper, Premier League proven goalkeeper, and Henderson. Henderson was just unfortunate at Man United that De Gea has been has been levels above him, so he never really got a chance a kind of game. So needed game time, and so this is why he left to Nottingham Forest. And Nottingham Forest, a very goalkeeper with potential in Henderson. But yeah, I think Newcastle will Nottingham Forest. I think it will be a tight game. It's not going to think it is. Nottingham Forest, yeah, they would actually prefer playing at home and start kicking off their season at home. But I feel like it'll be a good experience for them. When they go into the opening game, they'll be more than ready. When they go into their first home game, they'll be ready rather. So yeah. And Spurs versus Southampton. New season, first full season for Antonio Conte. They made several signings. Spurs, they do look like a top 5 club. They really do, but it will be testing this season, with the World Cup being middle of the season. That's always a factor, guys. That's always factored in. So World Cup being there in the middle of the season is gonna be a thing for a lot of these squads. A lot of these teams have squads, but they don't really have huge squads. I look at Spurs. Yeah, they've improved their core squad. You know what I'm saying? And it used to be thin. Spurs used to have a very thin squad, but Conte was probably looking at this, and during the window, he made sure that he got several players in just to bed in into his squad, and now they have like a good core of players. But yeah, man, I mean, guys like Kulusevski, gotten from Juventus. I mean, they just sold what should I call it? Ben Wagon to Ajax Amsterdam. So they got in his replacement, obviously. But it's gonna be testing, guys. Spurs are gonna be in the Champions League as well. So they haven't been in the Champions League in a minute. So I feel like it could be a testing point. But yeah, the last game for Saturday is it's the Chelsea versus Everton game, and it kicks off. Obviously, it's at 6:30. So it's the final game of Saturday. It's gonna be in the evening. I might check that out, but Everton, I feel like they'll be fighting for relegation again this season. Their lack of investment in a transfer window might hurt them very badly. And people say Chelsea have their own share of troubles, but I feel like Chelsea should be more than enough to get 3 points against Everton. Chelsea have made good signings. Raheem Sterling, and now they've just confirmed um the signing of Cucurella. You know, Cucurella, from Brighton. So I mean, yeah, that's an exceptional signing. Chelsea were willing to overpay for that. Apparently, it was only them and Man City going for this guy. City backed out the minute when Brighton refused to lower down their price of Cucurella. So I mean, it's a great signing for Chelsea. Chelsea are moving beastly now. It feels like Chelsea have just started now in the transfer window. So yeah, Sterling, Cucurella, and then they've let go of Christensen, and you know what I'm saying. So yeah, man, I'm impressed with Chelsea. I'm impressed with Chelsea, and they also got Koulibaly in. So I mean, Chelsea. It's not a guarantee. Top four is not a guarantee by a long shot, guys. But I feel like Chelsea will just get into that top four. I feel like they just have enough. They just have enough, and like teams below them haven't really done anything really that amazing for you to say, top four is really, really under threat for Chelsea. I really don't see that. But yeah, 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 yeah. I think Chelsea will win this game. I think Chelsea will win this game. Um, I'm not gonna make score predictions. I mean, everyone's gonna expect me to be making score predictions. I don't do score predictions. I think Chelsea will beat Everton. So it's at Goodison Park. Everton haven't really put in a lot of investment. They've just lost Carlson to Spurs. I mean, it is what it is. I see them fighting for relegation again. It has got it like they haven't really gone into the market and improved themselves throughout the team. So that is the last game, obviously, for Saturday. It's the Chelsea versus Everton. So yeah, moving on to Sunday. Got interesting fixtures on Sunday. I mean, we kick off with Leicester versus Brentford, taking place at 3 o'clock at the King Power Stadium. So I mean, get your bets out, guys. I mean, I see Leicester beating Brentford. I don't know, like that's my prediction on the game. Leicester, they're holding on to Tillemans. The thing is, I'm really not sure. I'm not really with the Spurs with the Leicester thing. It's very intriguing. It's very intriguing with the Leicester thing because I mean it could be a serious situation for Leicester. There's doubts that the likes of Yuri Telemans and as well as Jamie Vardy are being targeted by teams. Teams are looking at these guys, so these are their crucial players. So Leicester is in a very weird position right now. They're pretty much in a weird position. I really could see them starting off the season good and then drift out. Drift out. I think they'll finish. If I'm wrong, I think they'll finish just above. I think they'll finish 10th or 9th. They'll just sneak into the top half of the table, depending on who they replace Yuri Tillemans with, and as well as Jamie Vardy. We'll see. We'll see, because transfer windows, guys, they can pretty much flip the season just like that within a month. So this is why I don't like making predictions about a team's uh, performance for the rest of the season after August at least, because I know for a fact January there's not gonna be any transfer movement because of the World Cup thing is gonna really disturb all of those things. It's gonna make it increase. If you thought the January window was difficult, the World Cup's gonna make it extremely difficult. So yeah, man. I mean, so yeah, Leicester. I think Leicester will win that game. They should have enough for Brentford. Um, So yeah, the fixture I didn't even want to talk about. Man United versus Brighton. In my last stream, I said what I said with regards to Man United. I said what I said. Man United, a club who's going into the season. I'm prepared. You know, um, my guys are just everywhere at the moment. The board is unsure what needs to be done. There's the Cristiano Ronaldo circus, the fan base fighting amongst themselves to say to everyone is trying to be right about a certain player. There's a lot of player FCs, but fans are missing the bigger point here. Man United is just a club that lacks ambition. I know it's a very uncomfortable conversation to have, but they really do lack ambition, and they're not a club that wants to win a game. So this is very hard. That's why it's hard for me. It's hard for me to like back the club when people are like, "Is Cristiano bigger than Man United and whatnot?" And I'm like, "What Cristiano Ronaldo is doing, Cristiano Ronaldo is doing because the club is allowing him to do so." So for you to say, is Cristiano Ronaldo bigger than Man United? I'd say the way Man United are acting, yeah, Cristiano is bigger because you're allowing him to be bigger. You know what I'm saying? And people can say what they want to say, but my stance is any player, and that goes for any player. It's not just Cristiano Ronaldo. If any player was acting the way they're acting, and it was with good reason, not because I want more money. No, with reason that the club just lacks ambition. It's hard for me to be like, um, that player's in the wrong. Because if the club is lacking ambition, you're proving that guy right for wanting to leave. So, I mean, this Brighton game, the Man United versus Brighton game that's taking place on Sunday, I mean, it could end up in a draw. I honestly don't see us win that game. I might be here for a match reaction after the game. I might do a match reaction. I might. That's if I'm not even pissed off that much. But I honestly don't see us winning that game. Martial's already out on he's not gonna be fit for that game. So already we are striker short. We don't like now we have a Cristiano Ronaldo also who hasn't been on preseason tour. So I don't know what we're gonna do. There's a lot of formations Man United can go with and to try and supplement for their lack of options up front. But I just still think that it's gonna be nervy for these guys. Yeah, maybe the crowd might get them out of jail, but Brighton are not a bad side. This is what I'm afraid of. This is a side that knows how to play, and we lost 4-0 to the same Brighton team. They may lose. Obviously they just lost Cucurella to Chelsea. Chelsea just announced Cucurella, by the way, if you just joined my show. Chelsea have anointed. Come on, man. I'm even losing. I'm even having problems with my speech because yeah, it's been a while. But yeah, Chelsea have just signed Cucurella. They've announced him today. Sky Sports were obviously late about that. It was something that was done in the morning, earlier in the morning today. Yeah, Brighton are Cucurella away, but Brighton's still a team that knows how to play football, and they'll still be troubling a lot of teams. A lot of big teams will be troubled by Brighton. They've got a good manager, who's got a good philosophy, who's got a good bunch of players who fit that philosophy to perfection. So yeah, I mean predictions 1-1, and if things turn for the West, God, I hope it doesn't. If things turn for the West, Brighton win this game, but the best I think we can do is a draw. If we win, props to these guys, but I don't think it would be a convincing win even if we win. Don't get me twisted. So yeah. And the final game of the opening fixtures in the Premier League is the West Ham versus Man City. Now, Man City, this is a clash. That's gonna be the most interesting. I can see why they left the best for last because West Ham are no pushovers, guys. Like people think West Ham are push. West Ham have grown under David Moyes. Last season they almost got top four. They were challenging for top four. They were legit candidates for that position, and they haven't really lost their best talent. Declan Rice is still there. There are a couple of players as well. David Moyes is still there as well. So it's no different from West Ham. They will be trying to be a top 6 team again this season, or top 7 team. They're in the obviously in the conference. I think they're in the conference league, so that should be interesting. They're in the conference league. That their squad will be tested um, to the bare bones, because they've also got the World Cup. Everyone is affected by the World Cup. I think people forget that. So these competitions affect how the season pans out. And moving away from West Ham, I mean, Man City, they've got Bernardo Silva now being so it's Haaland is probably gonna be confidence up after those misses in the community shield against Liverpool. He had a howler, but it's not out of lack of tries to every striker. But I feel like he'll still be one of the top goal scorers. People laugh at those. Darwin Núñez is during preseason as well near him, and he's turned the corner. With Haaland is quality. There's no way in hell you're gonna tell me that Haaland is not gonna affect the season in a positive way for Man City. So I see slightly edging this. It's gonna be a very entertaining game. Obviously, West Ham will try and hit them on the counter attacks, but yeah, man. I mean, we'll see how that goes. He will be a wounded animal, obviously, after losing to Liverpool. Liverpool humbling them in the Community Shield. So yeah, man. I mean, personally, I think like I think Man City will edge it, even if it's 2-1. Doesn't matter. Man City will get the 3 points. They just know how to just get 3 points in those positions. But yeah, man, guys. I mean, once again, thank you for joining me on my evening show. This was my first preview show. I'm gonna be checking out the opening game in Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. I wanna see how Gabriel Jesus does. Jesus. But yeah, jokes aside, thanks for joining me. Have yourselves a lovely weekend. Enjoy the fixtures. Maybe I'll be back on Monday. Maybe I won't be. Maybe I'll be back tomorrow, or maybe back on Sunday and to do the match reaction and United game. But we shall see. But I mean, take care, guys. Yeah, I'm out.